Welcome back to the online Women's Basketball Summit. Today, I am interviewing Corey Taylor. Corey Taylor is nationally recognized sports performance coach, motivator, personal trainer, national presenter, and the founder of Corey Training Sports Performance in Louisville, Kentucky. Today, we're going to be talking about training female basketball players and female athletes. Corey, welcome to the call. It's great to have you.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm very honored to be a part of this, and hope I can shed a little bit of insight and share a little bit of knowledge as well.
All right. So why don't you share your background with me? How you got started training athletes? How long you've had your own gym?
I had my facility for 8 years. I started as a professional athlete, played professional football. Through the journey of multiple injuries, I found myself rehabbing and training, getting prepared for after every injury, trying to get back. And I just fell in love with the preparation of returning and getting back, and the people that helped me along the way. So I had a strong influence of coaches and trainers who were always helping me trying to get back on the field. And I knew back in 2001 after I blew my knee out, ACL, I moved to Salt Lake City at the Institute of Sports Science and Medicine. There I got first-hand knowledge of being able to not only they rehab me, but it gave me the opportunity to kind of work with some of the young kids in the process. And I knew once I was finished playing ball, that's kind of what I want to do. I want to make an impact in young kids' lives and athletes in general.
Nice. All right. Did not know you had a knee injury.
I've had 13 surgeries.
See, these conversations we don't have when we see each other in Louisville.
Right. But you don't see me that often because I sneak in and sneak out real quick.
That's true. I don't make fun of you because of that, though. The one thing I love about you is, yes, you're a national presenter, you're a motivator, you're a coach, but you're in the trenches on a daily basis training the athletes. So give me kind of your experience right now with training female athletes and female basketball players.
Well, as far as my experience right now, I just see it kind of an epidemic of the girls just play too much ball. That's just my opinion. I have a young lady who's going to start with me who she committed to in IU University, playing just one more year her senior year, and she just played yesterday. She played 10 games in 5 days. Her knees hurt, her ankles hurt, her joints hurt. And she hasn't even made it through her senior year of high school yet. So, I just think sometimes, I wish basketball players and female athletes in general would spend more time training on not just basketball skill training, but also this training to keep their body strong, and so they can withstand, the season and the demands of the sport of basketball.
Amen. I 100% agree with that. So when you have the female athletes in, what do you focus on, like the big lifts you're doing with the female athletes, the female basketball players?
So before we get into any big lifts, I want to make sure that, we got good glute activation and the glutes are working, hamstrings, quad to hamstring ratio. I want to make sure everything is working and everything's firing on all cylinders before we get into the back squats, and even the unilateral lifts with the lunges and things. That's the end point. Because a lot of the female athletes that get in here, they can't stabilize properly. They have bad, pelvic tilt or pelvic, and strength around that area. So, really kind of first, focus on, making sure that the foundation is solid before we get into, the deadlift, the strength training components of our program. So, a weak athlete is not explosive, not fast, not quick. The reaction is not there. So therefore, in my facility, I really focus on building a better athlete. And, so that's the first thing we focus on is getting everything turned on. And then once we get the engine up and running, then we put the extra parts to make it be dynamic.
I love it, because I actually spoke with the UConn women's strength coach this morning, and she basically said the same thing you did. Like, we need to start with the foundation and then build from there. So kind of touching back on the ACL epidemic we're having with female athletes, what do you think like the top 2 or 3 reasons are that female, like basketball players and female athletes in general, are tearing their ACLs at a crazy rate right now?
Well, I think one is, overtraining. I think that's a huge issue. And, there's not enough recovery and, time and regeneration of the cells in the body. A female athlete, the female design of the body, the hips, lower extremity, it's totally different from a male athlete. So I think there has to be a little difference as far as change of pace and specifics as far as how you train their athletes, and make sure that, glutes are really activated, things are really strong. The powerhouse of the lower body is really strong to withstand the jump stops, the quick change directions, the force production of pushing to the ground to lateral slide to get over. And those things, need to really be trained in the training environment before they really put the test on the court. So we want to make sure that we address those things. And I think because of those things are always addressed universally around the country with different coaches, I think that's what we have. And I think also the knowledge. I don't think I think there's a lack of knowledge and understanding of how to prepare a female athlete, a female basketball player, compared to a male athlete basketball player.
I love it. Well, that's kind of my goal with this is the online training summit, basically for female athletes and basketball players, is be able to get some quality knowledge out there from some top strength coaches and some other experts in different fields. So if I was to come in as a girl basketball player and come train with you like preseason, so let's say September, give me kind of like what the program would look like a little bit, like foam rolling, dynamic warm-up. How do you, what's your program template look like?
So athletes first come in, so we go right into, I'm a proponent, I'm a fan of foam rolling. We're going to foam roll, we'll roll out the tissue, and then we're going to go right into dynamic warm-up, of course. Then from dynamic warm-up, I go into med ball power component, depending on the level of the athlete and where they are. I might even start with landing and loading. Make sure there's no valgus and these are not coming in. Make sure that they know how to land properly and load. Then from there, I'm all about power, med ball power complex. And then we go from our power component into our, whatever, depends on what day it is, but I'll say Monday, it's an acceleration, deceleration day. So we work on movements of acceleration, working on the, dropping the hips, low body position for the deceleration phase before you can move, quick in and out of the breaks and in and out of taking direction for defense and also making runs up and down the court. So that's kind of how that program is designed. And then from there, we're going to finish up with our strength conditioning component of that day. It could be a lower body emphasis day, which in a lower body emphasis day, we always hit our vertical lift from the ground, or it could be a squat, it could be a deadlift, what have you. Unilateral, we always go inline, it could be a lunge. And then we go to a lateral. It could be a crossover step up. It could be a lateral lunge. It could be a reach behind lunge. A curtsy lunge. You can buy a lot of different things from that standpoint. So we try to hit all different areas of the glutes, lower extremities, lower half, and then we always finish with a push and a pull.
I love it. I love that you put an emphasis on deceleration training because I think teaching female athletes, especially basketball players, how to decelerate is going to be a big component in trying to reduce a lot of the knee injuries we're having. So I know you're a big guy on like mindset and motivation. So do you work with your female athletes, basketball players, with the mindset part? And if you do, can you touch on some of the stuff you do with them?
Well, the mindset, it's a huge part of the program in general. I don't care what kind of coach you are, how great you are in programming and designing. If you don't have you're not able to connect with the athlete, you're not to be able to get into the mind of the athlete, then your program is just a piece of paper. It doesn't have any effectiveness. And therefore, the mental component is huge as far as our programming here at CTSP, is to find out where this athlete's trying to go, no matter how old or how young, what's the journey? And where do I fit in as your coach along the journey? And how can I help you stay along the path? You got to train with a purpose. You can't just be training to be training. Because a certain level, training is going to be pretty, demanding. So, as long as you have an established why of what our purpose and what we're trying to get to, and that we're all on the same page, and you understand that I'm in this with you as far as trying to get you to reach your goals that you have set when you first came into the facility, and then I think that an athlete will do whatever you ask them to do and will buy them. But I think it's time to really invest into athletes. Know their history. Know where they've come from prior to coming to you, and then from there you can make sure that you can lay the groundwork that you can have production, not just physically but mentally, because you can have the best program design and you can lift the most weights and have the coolest dynamic program design. If they're not able to take that and for the transfer on the court, then it's useless, and then an athlete's going to lose faith and confidence in you as their coach because they're not seeing the production to transfer to the court. So I feel that's a very huge component that a lot of coaches don't really take time to do, is to really kind of find the story and the journey of the athlete that they're working with And it's different for me being a male coach. You know, you really got to gain the trust of a female athlete. You got to gain their trust, and you got to let them know that you really are interested, and you hear what they're saying. You hear where they're trying to get to, and as long as you understand their past, you can help them get to where they're trying to in the future.
I absolutely love that you include the mindset, because I think one of the biggest things with female athletes, basketball players, is obviously, yes, the athlete part, but we need to build these kids up, make them stronger mentally, also physically, but we need to build their confidence. We need to empower these female athletes. So I absolutely love that you add that component into your training. Do you touch on nutrition with the girls, like food is fuel, recovery aspect? How do you do that with your training?
I mean, I do. Obviously, I don't have a huge nutrition background, but I understand nutrition and how the body works.
Yep.
But I also try to give them the basic. I think simple is the best. I try to be very simple with my athletes as far as understanding carbohydrates, understanding proteins, understanding how much water intake that your body needs per day. And if you're trying to lose weight, this is how many grams of protein your body needs to intake. If you're trying to gain weight, this is where we are with with the intake of protein intake. And just trying to give a simple education, I think goes a long way, because as you know, being a coach, the nutrition can be very tricky. It can be confusing, and there's so much trash out there. There's so much misinformation out there, that they come to us to kind of sift through all the BS and all the stuff that's not, that's placebos out there, that they really can help them benefit and help them play at a higher level.
Yeah, you're right. There is a lot of trash out there, and that's why I am interviewing a couple nutritionists, a couple eating disorder experts. So we're kind of touching on all realms. But again, I love that when you're doing the training, you are focusing on recovery, a little bit of nutrition. You're focusing on the mindset. You have the strength training. You have the deceleration, stuff like that. So I just love what you're doing. And I'm glad you came on the call to kind of share a little bit of what you're doing. Is there anything else you want to touch on in our conversation about training female basketball players or female athletes that I might have missed?
Well, I just think that, if you're not in this industry with passion of coaching, making an impact, and changing people's lives, then you got to find something else to do. Right? Because this is what it's all about. At the end of the day, it's nothing about us as coaches and trainers. It's about these kids and these young athletes that that come to us for guidance, for leadership, and and some people who've influenced my life the most have been my coaches, and to this day, those are the ones I still look up to, and I have developed my foundation as a coach around, because of the love and the nurturing that they gave me. Yeah, the expectation levels were very high, but I also understood the purpose. I understood where we were going, and I was willing to sacrifice for that. And I think once we're able to do that as coaches, then all our kids and our athletes will be willing to sacrifice and put in the extra work to be a champion as well.
Agreed. I mean, half of the athletes just want to know you care, but passion as a coach and anything you do is always going to make you successful. So tell me where people can find you if they want to learn more information about you, your gym, or anything on social media.
So anything more about me, I'm presenting in CanFit Pro coming up in Canada. That's something excited that I'm excited about that. I'm presenting on the proven and practical methods of improving speed. And I'm also presenting in the NorCal Fitness Summit in San Francisco in October. On my topic is mindset is everything, being average is easy. So that's going to be a pretty cool topic. So I got two different topics going on. One on athlete development, speed training, and another one on the mental component. Two things that I have a lot of passion for. And then if you want to catch me on social media, Corey Taylor Sports Performance on Facebook. You can reach me on Instagram, Coach_C Taylor, Twitter, Coach_C Taylor. And then also if you want to see my facility and my gym, that's Team CTSP on Instagram, Team CTSP on Twitter. So you can see me all over the place.
Awesome. So when I come to Louisville again, which I feel like will be very soon, since I feel like it's a second home, I will definitely hit up your gym, and we got to spend time together and talk more about just coaching the females. So thank you so much. I appreciate your time. It's always great chatting with you.
Hey, thanks for having me. Remember that mindset is everything.